Yo guys, what's going on? It's Psycho Sibs Gaming, and today we are finally going to be reviewing the Branium Basher 9001 Legendary Upgrade for Super Brainz. Now, I got my hands on this upgrade recently. I was able to do some damage testing and hop into quite a few public matches in order to get a good feel for the weapon, which today we are going to discuss whether or not it is actually as overpowered as people are saying it is. It definitely outputs some insane damage. However, it does have its flaws, so if this sounds like something that interests you, grab your lawn chair, sit back, relax, because you're watching Psycho Sibs Gaming. Alright guys, so the first thing you need to know is that this upgrade actually replaces both your primary and your secondary weapon, so no more punches, no more flying fists. Instead, it's been replaced by a dash attack, which you use the right trigger for, and an upward strike, which you use the left trigger for. As far as the dash attack, it can be charged to 3 levels. The first level, you don't charge it at all, you just click the right trigger, and that one will do 50 damage to the enemy if you hit it head on. The next level of charge for the dash attack does 90 damage, and the final level, the full max charge dash attack, will do a whopping 125 damage. This means that a fully charged up dash attack can one-shot a full health pea shooter, kernel corn, nightcap, cactus, acorn, sunflower, and rose. All of those characters are susceptible to being killed in one hit by this upgrade's weapon. The next thing to test out is the left trigger weapon, which is an upward strike that's supposed to launch your enemies upwards with you. Now, when I tested this out, I found that the hitbox was pretty wonky on this thing. It technically is supposed to do 40 damage. However, I found that landing this was extremely inconsistent, and sometimes it would even pop up and tell me I did 40 damage, but the enemy's health wouldn't decrease by 40 at all. So obviously there needs to be some tweaks or fixes with this weapon. But with that being said, I believe that the primary use for this upward strike is for positioning anyway, so it's not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. Alright, so now that we know the stats of this weapon, let's talk about how it actually fares in public matches, because this thing is, in my opinion, kind of a hot mess. Because the uppercut is not a viable method of offense, this leaves you with one move really, and that's just dash, 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 dash. And this dash attack is fast, and not only is it fast, it's also really long. I mean, the distance traveled is fairly large, especially if you're doing the full 3 charge meter. And there's no way to just cancel yourself out of it in case you've gone past the enemy. So a lot of times what will happen is you'll be trying to dash into an enemy and you're just going to be flying back and forth all over the place. Sometimes I'd even confuse myself trying to battle an enemy with this thing. And then comes the problem of lag, because I don't know if you've experienced this, but Battle for Neighborville does have some fairly significant lag when there is a lot going on the screen. So if there's a lot of characters all using their abilities in the same time in a short space, you're definitely going to get some lag spikes. It's going to jitter around a little bit. Overall, the game isn't too bad with lag, at least from my personal perspective playing on Xbox, but there are times when the game will skip a little bit. And this is especially true when you're using this upgrade. You move so quickly with this thing that sometimes the game will just skip your character from the point you use it to the point you finish. This thing basically turns into a teleport sometimes because my game is skipping around so much. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm over-exaggerating or complaining, but it definitely was noticeable enough to where it did bother me. Now, speaking of things that are bothersome, the movement of this upgrade is actually a little odd. You see, when you point your direction at somebody and activate the dash, it will not dash towards them if they are above or below you. The dash only travels in a horizontal line. Now, this is where I think the uppercut actually comes in, because if you want to hit someone above you, instead of looking at them and then dashing straight at them, which is impossible, you would actually have to use the uppercut to launch yourself up straight in the air and then dash horizontally to hit them. My guess is that they have this restricted movement style in order to balance the extremely high damage output of the full charge dash, but at the same time, it's like there has got to be a better way to balance this upgrade without just making the movement unbelievably frustrating. And the frustration even boils on over to the plant side, because playing as a plant against the Branium Basher is it's just annoying. I mean, this thing flies all over the place. You can barely keep your eye on it, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere you'll just get hit and killed in one shot. But in order to even hit you, most people, it takes them multiple times to get that dash down because the movement and the aiming system is just not super strong with this upgrade. However, with that all being said, and even though there are frustrating aspects with the Branium Basher, it is extremely satisfying to land a full charge dash attack on a plant and KO it in one shot. And the place I'd say the Branium Basher really shines is in Battle Arena. So if Battle Arena wasn't a broken piece of garbage, then I would recommend taking the Branium Basher into Battle Arena. As a matter of fact, the Branium Basher Wizard combo is one of the most ridiculous Battle Arena setups you could possibly do. So if you have a friend with Wizard, hop in, try the Branium Basher Wizard combo. It's just completely unfair, and it will decimate the enemy team that round. So in the end, what do I think of the Branium Basher 9001, and is this upgrade really overpowered? Well, let's think about this for a second. I like to imagine the developers creating this upgrade. They basically said, hey, let's put this extremely powerful attack in the game that really shouldn't be in the game at all because it can one-shot over 2/3 of the plant's team. But instead, let's put it in anyways, and in order to balance it out and make it fair to everybody, what we'll do is we'll just make every other aspect of this ability extremely frustrating. Let's just say, we'll restrict the movement so you can't aim up or down. We'll also make the upgrade so fast that it lags your game, and it prevents you from locking on target because you're flying straight past them or over their head. Also, we'll give it some wonky hitboxes so you think you'll connect, but in the end, maybe you don't actually connect. So in conclusion, I'm going to say that the dash attack itself with that full charge is definitely overpowered. There's no reason for a single attack to deal 125 damage. That's just ridiculous in the context of this game. However, once you pile on all of the extremely frustrating baggage that comes along with the Branium Basher 9001, it really weighs the upgrade down. And I honestly don't believe that this is going to have a significant impact on public matches. Now, if everybody's using the Branium Basher, it's going to be extremely frustrating because, like I said, this upgrade just oozes frustration on both sides. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that the Branium Basher 9001 is overpowered? Do you think that the mechanics are actually fair and not the least bit frustrating at all? Do I just suck at the game and don't know how to use this properly? Drop a comment below and let me know. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't. It helps me out a lot. Otherwise, see you next time, and game on, gamers.